Hello, everybody, and this is Apple once more bringing you a video, this time about writing effective proposals for businesses. So, I focus a lot on civilian roleplay, and a big part of civilian roleplay is business RP. And I really enjoy writing grant proposals. I know it makes a lot of people nervous, so I thought maybe I could kind of go over how I write them and that might help some people figure out how they want to write their own. So, just nothing I do is the right or wrong way to do something. But I do have a background in writing pitches. So, in university, I was lucky enough to pitch for a bunch of different publishers, notably Slave Labor and First Second. This is part of university, so I didn't get any contracts or anything. Though a couple of them asked me to send further pitches. And I've also successfully written grant proposals, which is a very similar process. So, pitching is all about convincing somebody why you are the right person for them to give money to. And in this case, instead of money, it's more like, why should you be given a business? So this is the pitch book that I put together for the Old Folks Society pitch for the Emerald City Casino. You can see that it has quite a few pages. It also has some graphics. And that's because most people are visual, and if you give them big chunks of writing, they're probably not going to read all of it. I know that, so it doesn't bother me if they don't. And then you also have to then be prepared to answer their questions, and that gives you an opportunity to show some of your personality too. Anyway, I'm not going to use that to go over it because it's more fun in color. And originally, the pitch was a Google Doc, this Google Doc. And the way that I always start with a pitch is, what is the overall vision for the pitch that you're making? So once you have an overall vision, it then becomes easier to create a visual identity for the brand that you're working on. And it also becomes easier to think about conceptually what your plans are for that business and why people should choose you to run a business of that style. Okay, so starting with the overall vision, in this example, I said, the Old Folks Society envisions the casino as a collaborative space that has regular events, but also offers the space for anybody in the Commonwealth to be able to host their own events, and then the casino staff would provide event support. And I like to give people in my pitches a small scale vision, a medium scale vision, and kind of a macro scale. So in this one, the small scale is, we, the OFS, want to run events. The kind of medium scale is, the events that we run could help fund the local community of Emerald City by providing funding for the sheriff's department and for doctors and for people who might have their things stolen to try and make them whole again. So that's medium scale. And then working up into the macro scale, and we could also provide an event space and event support for anyone in the Commonwealth who wants to collaborate on an event or business idea. So that's small, medium, large. Then moving into why you should pick us, we're saying, as a larger organization, Old Folks Society has about 20 people. We have the benefit of having people who don't just live in Emerald City, who have a lot of ideas, who have a lot of skills, and live across different time zones. So that should something not work out, there is potentially other people who could step in and assist. Also, adding to that, the business folks really like it if you have already been making an effort to live and work in a space promoting your idea for the business, even if you haven't been given keys yet. So we put in there some details about events that we've already planned and executed or are in the process of hosting. Okay. Once you've established what your vision is and why you should be the one to execute it, you then have to explain how you plan to execute that vision. So we have a list of what our staffing rules would be, and then plans for what we would, how we would run things. So here's all the staff members. Here's what the staff members would do. In my case, I'm saying I would be the general manager. I'm good at event planning. I run the events calendar for the Commonwealth. Granny Sue and Pappy would also help specifically with romance themed type of events on a smaller scale. And, you know, to that effect, Pappy has purchased a stagecoach and can therefore ferry people around for dates, or you know, to the bingo, because all old people love going to the casino, and he can go town to town and pick up all the old people, you know, similar to how the buses do for casinos in real life. Anyway, then we have sketched out our regular events that we would like to host. Bingo or bango, book club, and kind of a variety night are the three main ones. And then once you talk a little bit about those events, you can start bringing in event materials. So this is a bango poster that I originally had for Valentine and modified it to be more emerald themed. This is a bango card that I originally, again, made for when my character was in Valentine in season 1. I don't know if I'm going to change it very much. I might make it more green, but I've always thought the purple was a funny reference to Desdemona constantly being called a witch. Then we moved into event materials that were for our past events or upcoming events. So this is for our event in January, the escort quest to Del Sol from Emerald City. And this is for the Great Sheeple Race, which is coming up soon here in February. And then I also talked a little bit about how event planning would work. So this is a sample event planning collaboration based on a conversation with Desdemona that she had with Maymay about launching a book and how she could potentially help with posters, although I think Maymay can do those herself. She's very skilled. But I also talked about how I could help with it. Moderation for question and answer at the book club, help find narrators if Maymay does not want to narrate her own excerpts from her book, and provide illustrations because I am an illustrator. And then to prove that I'm an illustrator, I included a few illustrations. So these are character portraits that I did in game. Anyway, that's kind of how I put together my business proposals. And I hope that helps. If you have any questions or you need help with creating your own marketing materials, please let me know.